People need to be careful when diving into the Epstein files, right? Because this is very dark, deep, demonic stuff. And this is to do with the elites. This is satanic and spiritual warfare on every level possible. So when you're diving into this stuff, I kind of have a weird theory that this has actually been released for a reason of affecting people at mass. Whether this is to see people's responses to such dark and decrepit things, okay? Or this is even more deep and spiritual to kind of really keep people down and under a spell, almost traumatized, if you will.
The most important thing to come out of the Epstein files is that Americans have finally come to realize something that the rest of the world has always known, which is that we are truly not free. The Epstein files is not conspiracy. The U.S. Department of Justice have published these files, 3.5 million documents to be exact, with incriminating evidence of the whole U.S. oligarchy doing the most disturbing and disgusting things to an underage group of people.
I just want to tell you guys that people are not just making shit up about the Epstein files on TikTok. It's literally searchable on the Department of Justice's website. I'm fucking disturbed. Yeah, there are emails alluding to eating babies. Maybe they're code words for something, I don't know.
People share their thoughts and their reactions about the Epstein files. And to be honest, I haven't gotten a chance to research it, but I've heard a lot of pretty gruesome stories and just horrific things. And it's sad, man. I don't know if I really want to go deep dive on those files, but hearing those stories from people, I think is sufficient enough for me to believe that there's so much evil in this world, and it's just really sad, man. So let's hear these people out.
Major trigger warning. If you're not going through the Epstein files, I am, and here are some of the most disturbing things I have seen. They trafficked little girls, they got them pregnant, they took their babies, they starved the babies, made them very thirsty, and then they put their in their mouths because they knew the babies would suck harder. They joke about cream cheese. They are referring to breast milk in the intestines tasting good because they ate them. Well, actually, they were probably eating their own as well. All of our children are accessible to all of these predators because their school photos were handed over to, yeah, MAGA, your kids were handed over too. They wrote emails back and forth like, got a good 10-year-old, got a good 8-year-old, virgin, just your style, you want it? But the satisfying part here, the most disturbing part, is that Pam Bondi, Donald Trump, Kash Patel, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Dan Bongino, Steve Miller, Bannon, all these people and the 1,000 FBI agents that redacted the files, they know who all these perpetrators are. They know that children were killed, buried, put in the water, put in fields. They know where they are. They know who the perpetrators are, and they redacted their names. And they are sitting around eating their dinner right now, knowing the names of the people who did this. And no one in America is pressing charges or doing anything, but dozens of other countries are. Who was cooking the meals? Who was the staff? Who are the people that could speak up?
Because the Epstein files have been released. All of y'all are acting fucking normal. Epstein files have been released. And all of y'all are acting normal. All of y'all are acting normal. They can laugh, but y'all can Google it. They can laugh, but y'all can Google it. The Epstein files have been released, and all of y'all are acting normal. All of y'all are acting normal.
They're really
All of y'all are acting normal.
They might not lost their goddamn mind.
Fucking airport is acting normal.
Everybody's calling.
No, you shut the fuck up.
Wait, don't say nothing.
Because the Epstein files, what I'm reading, and everybody in this room can read. If you go to Google right now, everybody in this room can read. They are eating They are trafficking children. And if you think for a second any fucking thing in your life matters, you are on the fucking wrong side of history. You are on the fucking wrong side of history. It don't matter about the flight. It don't matter about who in this fucking airplane. It don't matter about this nigga walking past me right now. I don't.
What I'm about to say, without exaggeration, will be the worst thing you've ever heard in your entire life. Hard trigger warning. So the Epstein files allege that they were trafficking newborn babies who were birthed by the young girls who were already being trafficked and assaulted by Epstein's clients, and that they were purposefully starving these babies so that they would suck harder. You can fill in the blanks with that one. Now, this is consistent with that situation involving the UCLA professor who was just fired for telling Jeffrey Epstein in an email that newborns would suck on a pacifier more vigorously if you played an audio of their mother's or father's voice. Now, my question to you is not if what I just said made you uncomfortable, but if what I just said, along with everything else you've read from the Epstein files, makes you uncomfortable enough to do something about it. This man trafficked children to the most powerful elites on planet Earth, from princes to presidents. These people dictate nearly every facet of our lives. Where our taxes go, how much we pay for goods, how laws are written, what topics dominate our news feeds, what content pops up on our social media, how narratives are shaped and structured. And y'all just want to keep moseying on about your day like a hamster on a goddamn wheel, spinning the same narratives that they've been feeding us for decades? Because we knew about this shit for years. We knew Trump was in the Epstein files for years. Why did half the country vote for him? If anything good can come from this atrocity, it's that now maybe more people could finally come to understand that this country is not what we thought it was. We got the files. Now we need arrests and convictions. And then maybe we can actually try to build this nation into what it was supposed to be. Not with monsters like this in charge.
Am I the only one not surprised by the Epstein files? Like, I don't have much of a reaction to it because this is the norm. Like, I've always known about Hollywood, about these A-list celebrities, like the ones who get to the 100 millions, 200 millions, billionaires. They call that shit Hollywood for a reason, bro. It's certain doors you got to go through. I'm not surprised at all. And if you grew up in like a high crime area or a place that got like a big drug problem, like I'm from Dayton, Ohio, right? I always seen people get more years for drug trafficking than messing with kids. And it clicked in my head years ago. Okay, I see. Those people actually control everything. Okay. Yeah, and then you hear like the Hollywood story. So it just doesn't surprise me. And so many people, Chris Tucker, Charlie Sheen, the Obamas, the Clinton. I can't believe. Why can't you believe it? It's a reason that certain people got to go through certain doors in order to be these A-list celebrities, right? But they control everything and they sell y'all these dreams to make y'all look up to people. They ain't no different from the creep down the street, man. I'm not surprised with this shit, man. Y'all, you gotta stop worshiping these celebrities, man. These high up people, they are weird. They just as weird as the normal ass people you know in real life. They just rich, selling you a dream. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing surprises me no more in this life out of all the weird shit I see.
It's crazy how when someone is given so much power and authority to rule over the earth, what they could do, how they could unlock their deepest, darkest desires and just turn the world upside down. Do you see how evil people could be? Because if you think about it, the elites, those elites are just normal human beings. They're just like us. 2 arms, 2 legs. But if you really think about it, man, the random people you see on the street, the people that you pass by, those are just random strangers. Imagine if they're given the darkest, imagine if they're given the power to rule over the earth. They have the most money on the earth. They have the power. Imagine what they could do. Because I believe that we're all sinners. And if we don't have God within us, we're gonna be doomed. If we don't have God within ourselves and we become the most powerful people on this earth, I think we're gonna spread evil. I think because all of us are bad. And, you know, it just shows that if you have so much power and authority, that these things could happen. You know, these deepest, darkest fantasies that people have could really come into fruition when people really have this much power and authority that they could just hide. You know, it's sad. It's really sad.
The babies were eaten. They took the babies, they killed them, they dismembered them, they cut up their intestines, and they took the feces out and they ate it. There's a 16-year-old girl. She had some diary entries written in code about her experiences being raped and impregnated by Epstein. They forced her to carry that baby to term, and they let her keep the baby for a few minutes. Then they came in, took the baby away, ripped it away from this child, and they did who knows what. Anyone who still believes that this is fake news, that they're faking all of these Epstein files, you're delusional, you're a coward. They have images, they have files, they have written records of everything that happened. They're not even releasing all of it. If you can sit there and say that none of this is real and you can't believe what you're seeing, I don't think you're real. You can't be saying anything. You are essentially invalidating all of these victims' accounts, their stories, their lives. Go educate yourself.
Only thing these Epstein files did was show you how sick these people really are. But that's nothing new. When Ryan Garcia was about to fight Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia started saying a lot of things about the elite. Nobody believed him. Everybody thought he was crazy. He told people what they do to kids. He told people where they take kids. Then they have books that give us details how these people have been eating people for years. Real life cannibals. Allegedly, this man said newborn babies taste like cream cheese. You heard what I just said? They show us in the movies. They joke about it. I want you to go back to when Amy Winehouse died. Then I want you to remember what Neil Patrick Harris did. This man had someone make him a cake to resemble Amy Winehouse how she was dead. And they ate that cake. People don't joke like that. Oh, that's not enough? What about Ellen? Ellen DeGeneres. What about her? Ellen went from looking like Ellen to looking like Ellen. Who is that? You got to remember how many people that she was in contact with. You got to remember around the pandemic time, 2020 time. Remember everything that came out about Ellen? What about that? Now let's talk about Nicki Minaj. And I know a lot of people don't want to talk about her right now, but she has been trying to expose this thing for a minute. Nicki just said that they eat people, that they sacrifice their family members. The writing has been on the wall for years. Now jump down the Epstein files rabbit hole. The mention of Pizzagate. The mention of what he's been doing to these people. And not just him. And go down another rabbit hole. Go down the rabbit hole of secret societies. See what they've been doing. What I'll say is this. It's nothing new under the sun. And this is for entertainment purposes only. But these people have allegedly been doing this the entire time we've been here. Pay attention.
I just want to tell you guys that people are not just making shit up about the Epstein files on TikTok. It's literally searchable on the Department of Justice's website. I'm fucking disturbed. Yeah, there are emails alluding to eating babies. Maybe they're code words for something, I don't know. But it's shady as fuck. There's also an email in there about a planned explosion that happened on the date mentioned in the emails. And I just want to explain to you guys why this isn't causing a civil uprising. I saw this play out on a very small scale when I worked my corporate job. I remember all my coworkers talking amongst themselves about all the fucked up, corrupt shit that upper management was doing. Then when it came time to discuss it with the higher ups, every single person in that room kept their mouth shut. No one wanted to lose their jobs. People had families to support. I get it. But this is what's playing out on a much larger scale. The real hard truth is just too inconvenient for anybody to acknowledge. Nobody wants their cushy lives disrupted over this. But I'm going to tell you something. Once people finally wake up, it'll be too late. Most people don't have the backbone to stand up for themselves. People want to be led. Sounds harsh, but it's just a reality. And I just feel we're on this edge of seeing through the matrix, almost everything we were told was a lie. The DOJ is basically mocking us publishing these files. They're like, here they are. What are you guys going to do about it? Because they know we won't do shit. And it just reminds me of what happened to Gaddafi. His people dragged him into the street and unalived him. Honestly, if I were politicians right now, I'd be fearing for my life every single day of the fucking week. And people will go, oh, well, why isn't the mainstream media reporting on it? If you're one of those people, respectfully, the mainstream media is controlled and bought. Everything happening now is created to divide us. Some people have woken up and others choose to stay asleep. But I just want to tell you guys, this is a very simple ChatGPT search. You can look up the documents for yourself. It is not red versus blue anymore. It's them versus us. Everything going on right now with ICE, with that newscaster's mom that was kidnapped, they're all tools to distract us. Look over here while we bury one of the biggest scandals in the past 300 years. Every single one of us should be disturbed and outraged by these emails. I'm going to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole here. This is all speculative, but even think about COVID. It's like a South Park episode, right? Remember when Tom Hanks got COVID and they reported on it? Just imagine a South Park episode where all these people are in a boardroom and they're going, who's the most beloved celebrity? And then someone stands up and goes, Tom Hanks. They're like, yes, Tom Hanks will be the first celebrity to contract COVID. And they ran the news story. The way that high profile people are being protected in these emails, I can't help but think, was he in on it too? Look at all the risk averse people COVID affected. It scared the shit out of everyone so they could control and divide us again. And then Trump got into office. He said the first thing he was going to do was release the Epstein files. He releases them. They redact all the names on there. And then he says, oh, I think we should move on to other things now. Really? He's even losing support from his own supporters on that. That's how arrogant these people are. This is big picture stuff, guys. Then you have Ellen DeGeneres fleeing the country. You can YouTube when she hosted the Oscars 10 years ago and she made that joke about delivering pizza, but it cut to some actress who looked appalled, like she knew what was going on. It was almost like they were laughing in our fucking faces. Again, speculative, but when you read these emails, you'll start to speculate too. So I just want to come on here as the layman's person telling you that I've been hearing all this stuff on TikTok about Pizzagate, about eating babies, all that shit. And then I looked on the DOJ's website and there it is. This is serious shit, guys. And all of us should be outraged.
You know the Great Flood? When God flooded the earth because things were so evil back then? The Nephilims, the giants, were causing harm to people that they needed to be extinguished. Therefore, God hit that reset button. He flooded the earth, saved mankind. Only 8 people, 8 bloodlines. If you really think about it, there were only 8 people that were saved. Noah's family and some other people. And if you think about it, there's only 8 blood types. But things back then were so evil that it needed to be reset. And now where we're heading, it's getting evil and evil. We need a reset button. You know, we need to be extinguished. We need to just eradicate everybody. So that way, you know, we have to have another Garden of Eden, just reset everything, man. Because God is the only one that can take lives away, right? Because he's the one that gave us lives. Therefore, he has the only authority to take lives away. This life that we have is given. It's borrowed. It's not, we didn't create this. It comes from God. So, I don't know, man. When things become so evil, where it gets out of hand, it needs a reset. I don't know. What do you think?
The most frustrating part about this whole Epstein files thing isn't even the fact that he did all these crazy evil things. It's because people are acting so shocked, as if they're surprised that this was going on this whole time. Like, who would have ever guessed? A lot of people. Like, I blame the previous generations the most. Like, y'all were asleep at the wheel almost. Kids were going missing left and right in the 80s, and y'all just chalked it up to runaways, drug addicts. Like, what? There should have been a lot more critical thinking at the time. But we didn't get that. And then y'all want to be mad at Christians when be like, everything's demonic. That's why, like, I don't listen to certain music. I don't like to watch certain movies, all this and that. Because we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principalities in high places. Whew, calm down. It's not okay, but it's going to be okay.
Your world leaders and politicians and celebrities eating babies and shit, and y'all worried about the fucking Super Bowl. Yeah. Now what y'all seeing is they just did a social experiment. They released all the information on the Epstein file. They told you how they the babies taste like cream cheese. They releasing videos on with kids screaming, little girls and boys, and releasing the emails on how they talking about ordering pizzas and hot dogs and grape soda and all this stuff. And all of this, they want to see if they can release this information and y'all know that they doing it and y'all still go about your daily lives. Yeah, it's a social experiment. People don't give a fuck. Only thing people gave a fuck about was if Trump name was going to be on there. Now that they don't see Trump name on there, they not really focused on how horrible and how horrific those things that they were doing to them kids on that island really are. The people that y'all look up to, your politicians, your world leaders, your celebrities, your actors, your hip hop artists, your pop artists, your R&B singers. These people were participating in such horrific shit, and y'all still going about y'all daily lives. It was a fucking social experiment. They wanted to see if we release all of this information, will people still go about their daily lives? Will people still pay taxes? Will people still go to work? Will people still participate in holidays, paganistic holidays? They wanted to see, and now they see y'all don't give a fuck for real. If that one person name is not on there, y'all don't give a fuck about what they were doing on that fucking island. Y'all not even thinking how horrific it really, like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Our fucking government is ran by fucking pedos, and y'all not even cannibalistic pedos, and y'all just talking about a fucking Super Bowl? What the fuck?
Check this out. One image in the Epstein files list contains an image that shows 2 chickens, and in the middle is something that's been redacted. But if you look closely, it really looks like a baby's leg. If it's just another chicken, why block it out? That's my point. And you can see the full leg right there. And people, yes, remember when Hillary Clinton's emails came out when she was joking about sacrificing chickens to Moloch? Who's that? Too many coincidences are here. These people at the top are all corrupt. We've got to make a change. We need to go to the top and be better. Crossing borders does not excuse responsibility. Arrest her.
There were so many Epstein Files connections to Justin Bieber's Yummy video. First, let's talk about how he promoted this song by using a bunch of pictures of babies with the hashtag Yummy, and also wrote Yummy in pizza. And this word Yummy was used like 300 times in these Epstein Files. I haven't seen anybody point this out, but at the end of the video, there's a baby pig on the table. At the start of the video, we see him walking through the kitchen, going to the table with the old rich people as if he's being served. They have very young people as the entertainment. They show this girl, and here's her outfit, but we'll get into that. There's also paparazzi in the kitchen as in being filmed at this party. You see Justin with a sandwich in front of him, guarded by a piece of bread. On the sandwich is this red cherry or olive with red little sticks in them, which later becomes black with black sticks. Serving disgusting food with peas, P. Diddy, and this pink. I wanted to point out this looks like a pizza. You see Justin with a pink drink in front of him, messing around with this guy's glasses. All the adults are taking turns sitting down with him. You see an entertainer and Justin's cat in the middle of the table representing him entertaining. And that's when we see the black olive cherry. We also see the Puffs, Puff Daddy. During the lyrics, lost control of myself, I'm compromised. Annie winks. We see this pink goo with circus peanuts on top. During the words, you ain't never running low on supplies. And the pink drink, so think about the pink stuff at these parties. What do you think these peanuts could represent? You see them reaching for the food and them devouring the food.
Jeffrey Epstein was beating his meat to Five Nights at Freddy porn? Are we serious right now? Then Bill Gates got an STD from a child on the island? What exactly is going on here? Then Elon Musk also was trying to go to the island as well. He literally said in the messages that he wants to have a epic vacation. Then we also have Steph Curry. I believe he is also funding Israel, certain things about Israel. I'll leave the picture up on the screen for you guys. Then we also have something referring to a baby, a child, and a child. I don't really know what that symbolizes, but there truly is a lot of dark and weird, mysterious things going on in the Epstein files. And honestly, this is probably just the surface level things that we're able to see. Apparently this one gets a little bit more dark. Apparently there were babies being dismembered and mutilated, taking out their intestines and eating the feces from their intestines. And people witness things like this. The magnitude of what they're showing us in the Epstein files is ludicrous. It's disgusting. I probably won't even be able to cover like half of the things that are in the Epstein files, truly. But I just wanted to let you guys know and be, an informative person about what's really going on. I want you guys to know the truth. So there might be a part 2 of this when I learn more information regarding the Epstein files, but stay tuned for that. We definitely owe Kanye and Ryan Garcia a big apology. This is insane.
Are all of us becoming desensitized to these things? I feel like a lot of us are just acting normal, are just going with our day. We just had our Super Bowl yesterday. Everything's fun. The Seahawks won. And everything's like normal. Don't you think this is like some psychological test? Maybe see what we're going to do if we're going to revolt, or what are these people going to do if we reveal the files? Are they going to do anything, or how did we become so desensitized? Like, how? Aren't we supposed to be mad and just, what are we supposed to feel? I don't know how people are feeling now, but I don't know. I'm just feeling sad. I'm feeling sad because I try to think what Jesus would do in this situation. What would Jesus do in this situation? Or God? He would try to save people, right? And punish them, punish those evil. What? I'm confused. So I'm not Jesus. I don't have that genius level Jesus. A lot of people probably want to hurt these people, but I'm confused. I'm just confused on what's going on and what to feel about these things. I hope things become better, but violence is never the answer. Violence is not the answer. I'm pretty sure God or Jesus doesn't want violence to happen. They're not about violence, but think about it. Old Testament, like I said, God flooded the earth. It needed to have a reset. So I don't know. I'm confused. What do you think?
The Epstein files show why God had to be so aggressive in the Old Testament. If you're not disturbed by the stuff that's coming out, all the sick, horrible things that are coming into light, of all the trafficking, child sacrifice, all the weird perversion and the stuff that all these celebrities and all these political people in power have been doing and are still doing, if this hasn't been disturbing your spirit, I don't know what to say, but like, it's crazy. It's crazy to me how there's so many people who still say that, oh, God is a God of love. Look at how he's talked about in the Old Testament. Dude, these pagan people, these countries, these nations, that's exactly what they did. All this sacrifice, all this stuff nasty stuff that they did, that's the stuff that like made God be angry. That's the stuff that triggered God. He had to deal with evil. He's a just God. You know what annoys me? When people are like, if God is real, then why does he send people to hell? I think the better question we should ask is, if God is a just God, why wouldn't he send people to hell? Aren't you sick and tired of all this garbage going on? All these sick people getting away with all this evil that they're doing? Don't you think if there's a just and good God out there that he would react in some kind of way? God is angry, and rightfully so. We're angry. If you're not feeling the wrath of God towards this stuff, like something is wrong with you. But man, this makes sense, because people are always like, oh, look at the God of the New Testament and the Old Testament. Surely the Bible can't be true because it's a contradiction. It's like, no, yes, God is good and he's love, but there's also a side to him that's just, and he's a good and righteous judge who needs to deal with evil the way it should be dealt with. Does that make sense? God is a good God, but don't forget he's also a just God, and all the garbage, all the nastiness that's happening in this world, he's going to deal with it.
So we finally got the full Epstein files, and nothing is happening. No new charges have been filed, and the outrage is surprisingly minimal. Keep in mind, all these global elites that had associations with Jeffrey Epstein and were doing unspeakable things, they're still doing that stuff. If you're a heroin addict and your dealer commits suicide, you're not going to just stop doing heroin. You're going to find a new dealer. You would think that learning that literally anybody with money or power is, engaging in sex trafficking children, would be more upsetting and lead to something, tangible happening. But also, I believe that the biggest reason that we're not seeing nearly as much outrage as you would expect about this is that the amount of evil in those files is so incomprehensible to the point of caricature. I've seen some fucked up shit in my life, and I don't think even I can fully wrap my mind around how just terrible, making children sex slaves and selling them to elites, engaging in all this corruption, probably murdering people, like the levels of depravity and just horribleness. We don't even have the language to describe it. Sure, we can call him a pedophile. We can call everybody in power that was engaging in these acts as well a pedophile. But that sounds so clinical and just detached in comparison to how terrible most of this is. What word would actually describe somebody who not only forces children into sex slavery, engages in sexual acts with these children, like profiteers off of it by selling it to powerful people, then uses those profits to engage in corruption, murder, cover-ups? There is not a word that could describe that level of just evil. And that's why I don't think anything is going to come of this. The amount of evil that was involved in the situation as a whole is just something that most people can't wrap their minds around.
Hey, I know I've been making a lot of videos about this here lately, but I still think we are underreacting heavily when it comes to this entire situation. We have been told, and there's fine proof, that people are eating babies and having with babies, with children. Like the people, like the richest people in the world, the 500 most known people in the world, not just in America, are like, that's like their pastime, pretty much. Like they're just like, and we're underreacting. And they released these things at this time for a reason, with everything else going on in the world as a distraction. It's like, oh, focus on this. Guys, look at this. This is going on. Everyone look here. Guys, this is bad. Hey, every news company, every single one, report on this whether you like it or not. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But, hey guys, is this right or wrong? Hey, everyone report on this. Everyone, attention, attention. And then they're like, oh, here's 3 million pages for you. Here's 7,000 pictures of perfect proof of these people doing these things, and no one's getting anything done to them. News, oh my gosh, news broadcasts, they're not going over it. You won't hear a word about it. There no celebrities talking about it. The Grammys, like, oh, we're all gonna talk about ICE. We're all gonna talk about ICE, because hey, everyone look at that. But oh, we're not gonna say a word about what's going on with Jeffrey Epstein. No, don't need it. Nope. You know why? Because the people who were at the Grammys are a part of it. The people who run the Grammys are a part of it. Why would they tell on Boss? Why would they tell on Big Top G? Why would they do that? Because if they tell him, then guess what? Then people start finding about what's going on with them, and then everybody gets brought down. And they're not going to get brought down, because that's not going to happen. Because we are desensitized. We are more split than we have ever been in probably American history. It's up there. You can argue a couple other times, but right now we are more, hey, I hate that side of America. Hey, I hate that side of America. They are trying to make it to where we don't rally against them and hate them. Instead, they have now made it to where we are rallying against each other and hating each other. Whenever it's not left versus right. It's not, hey, you're wrong, you're wrong. It's us, people, normal people, actual human beings, not demons, against them.
I just found some more insane emails in the Epstein files, and once again I'm asking, Why is this redacted? Donald Trump, his FBI, his Department of Justice are protecting bad men who did bad things with Epstein. This is an email that was sent from somebody, we don't know who, to Epstein back in 2013. It says, new Brazilian just arrived, sexy and cute, 9 years old. What? Why is their name redacted? Why don't we know who's saying this? Why haven't they charged this person? You know, Trump and his team have said there's no evidence that Epstein did anything wrong with anybody else. We're looking at the evidence. It's right in front of our faces. I also talked about this email yesterday, 2014, from somebody, again, the name is redacted, to Epstein. Thank you for a fun night. Your littlest girl was a little naughty. They're saying the crimes. They're saying it out loud that they're doing it. And Trump's DOJ doesn't have any other evidence of other people doing bad things? Why are these names redacted? In my view, the only explanation is that Donald Trump and the people around him are protecting the rich, powerful men who committed crimes alongside Epstein. Once again, they are saying it in text, and they're not doing anything about it.
People need to be careful when diving into the Epstein files, right? Because this is very dark, deep, demonic stuff. And this is to do with the elites. This is satanic and spiritual warfare on every level possible. So when you're diving into this stuff, I kind of have a weird theory that this has actually been released for a reason of affecting people at mass, whether this is to see people's responses to such dark and decrepit things, okay, or this is even more deep and spiritual to kind of really keep people down and under a spell, almost traumatized, if you will, and you're feeding these energies that these entities, these people worship and like to bawl, and all these demonic entities, they want you to feed that dark, deep energy. Be angry, be sickened, be fearful, you know, and you're pushing that out into the ether. And already, since these files have dropped, we've seen strange demonic stuff taking place on TV. I like just the other day from the Olympics, showing stuff like this on stage, and other weird stuff taking place on TV. It's almost like they're playing it in your face, letting you know that actually, yeah, do you know what? Cheers, you're feeding into this, you know, and you're giving something power. It's like whatever religions you believe in. If you're Christian, you believe in demons, or if you're Muslim and you believe jinns and stuff like that. If you say the names, or if you react or communicate or dive into some of these darker subjects, you're playing into the energetic frequency of the things that operate on these levels. So as a collective, as a global, my cat's here, right? She's just watching over us in this situation. But you're keeping this reality on a lower level, and maybe that's kind of what's happening here. Is this has been released to keep people on a lower level of existence, right? It sounds woo-woo, but if you look at how these people have been operating, Bill Gates, Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump, all the other elites, CIA, everything from top to bottom, there's spiritual aspects to this. If that's energetic or frequency ratios, like they operate on some they know stuff, they know what's going on, and they've been playing it in our faces. So protect yourself, be careful how you're responding and reading this information and interacting with it, because it can bite you as an individual. So tread lightly.
From human being to human being, look at the Epstein files to an extent. Do not look at the whole thing. It's going to destroy your mental health. It completely, if you, like, I've known this for a pretty, good amount of time. I just don't really talk about it that much. But the type of shit that goes on in the Epstein files is insane. And with all of it mostly just being confirmed at this point, it's just going to destroy your mental health. For 3 days straight, all my feed was just Epstein files. And on the third day, I had a fucking nightmare about it. I'm not even lying. My nightmare was so bad, I literally woke up with tears in my eyes. And on that day, I was just God is undeniably real. You can't even deny, bro. They're worse. Never mind. I'm not going to talk about that shit. It's no. At the end of the day, just protect your peace, please. Just rebuild yourself, become the best person that you can possibly be. But the more you go into the files, the more it's just going to destroy your mental health. So please don't. It's not worth it.
Several years ago, when I was the crazy girl online yelling and screaming and crying and trying to get everybody to pay attention to the children. Pay attention to the children, protect the children. I had a whole tattoo, the protect their children. Everybody made me look like I was insane, just like a lunatic, batshit crazy. And so I just got quiet, because it's I can't care. I can care, obviously, but I can't do anything alone. And now that like things are coming back up again, and I'm still watching people move and shake like shit is normal, like this is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is so crazy. And I'm like, I'm finding myself, I know part of it is because I've decided to stop gardening again. So I'm not numb to it. You know, I'm not high. I don't have no liquor in my system, nothing. So I'm not numb to it. I'm feeling everything the way I used to several years ago. And it's like, I'm really coming to terms with myself included. Please understand, I am included in this. But like, we as Americans will not give up our comfortable lives to stand up to a corrupt government. We will continue to practice cognitive dissonance. We will continue to turn a blind eye to elites and our favorite celebrities and all of this. For what? In the name of what at this point? In the name of what? I feel crazy. I feel crazy. I think about the children that I teach. And it's like, yes, while I'm doing my part for them, like, can I really protect them? Because if the elites want to do what they want to do, they're going to do it, and they're going to get away with it because we don't have a backbone. All we're going to do is exactly what I'm doing right now. And I feel crazy. I feel crazy. And I just want to know if I'm alone in feeling crazy. It's like crazy mixed with guilt, mixed with anger, mixed with just like so many things, bro. Oh my God. I'm trying not to do the thing where I judge other people who aren't as moved as I am. I'm trying because I know that we are all under this fucking spell. Oh my God. I just want to know. I just want to know if I'm the only one right now that feels crazy. This is not normal. Life is not normal. How much longer are we going to continue to live like this? As I sit outside the mall after I just came out of Sephora, got my $24 Summer Fridays lip gloss, whoop-de-doo. Children are still dying as I speak. They're still doing the things as I speak, and there is nothing I can do about it. And there is nothing that we are going to do about it. Because our comfortable lives mean more. And I feel crazy.